Good evening, and thank you for joining us. For those online and those in person, we will begin the presentation shortly. Thank you. Good evening again. Thank you for joining us, those in person and online. We are going to begin the presentation shortly. We're just giving a couple more minutes for everybody to arrive. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Again, to those in person and online, we are going to give a couple more minutes for people to join us, and we'll start the presentation shortly. Okay, good evening, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. We have a couple people here in the room joining us as well as online. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. I am Maria Alzate, your Senior Community Outreach Specialist for the Okeechobee Road Reconstruction Projects, and I will be the moderator for this meeting. Si usted necesita traducción durante la reunión, por favor comuníquese conmigo. Usted puede levantar su mano o pedir ayuda a través del chat y un miembro del equipo lo asistirá. At this time, we would like to recognize any elected officials joining us here in the room and also online. If you are joining us online, please select the raise hand button on your control panel so that we can acknowledge you. Diana, do we have anybody joining us online?
No, Maria, there is no one.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and keep going. Public
Oh,
participation.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, somebody just raised their hand. Marina Caselas.
Okay, thank you, Diana. Thank you for joining us tonight. Public participation at this public meeting is encouraged and solicited without regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Persons wishing to express any concerns about Title VI, you may do so by contacting either the Title VI coordinator from District 6 or from the state, and you have the information here on the screen. So now I'll go over some of the rules of engagement for tonight's meeting. As I mentioned, this meeting is being recorded. We're gonna go over the presentation. We'll have a short video, and then at the end, we'll have a question and answer session. During the question and answer session, we'll ask that the attendees in person make a line by the podium, and a team member will assist you when you can ask your questions or comments. And then afterwards, for any virtual attendees, you will remain muted throughout the presentation. Once we arrive to the question and answer session, you can use the raise hand button on your control panel to ask a question, and somebody from the team will unmute you, or you can also submit your comments or questions via the question box. And if you have any technical concerns or need support, you can go ahead and contact the number on the screen, and it is also on the chat on your control panel. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to the project manager, George Hoffman.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is George Hoffman. I'm a construction senior project manager for the Florida Department of Transportation here in Miami and in the Keys. With us today, we have an excellent project team, really an all-star team. You'd think I would say that even if they weren't, but they certainly are. They're all here today with us, leading with Andres Bericiautu. He's the resident engineer for South Miami-Dade and Monroe counties. Also here is Manny Espinal. He's the assistant resident engineer. Myself, Enrique Tamayo. He's the consultant senior project engineer and responsible charge of this major project for us. He's assisted by his excellent team, including Hector Fung and Felipe Gonzalez. They're with us tonight. The prime contractor, this was awarded to Prince Contracting, and Maria Alzate, senior community outreach specialist, keeps us honest and on task with everything public information related. This is a map of the project location. We call this segment 2. It's the second of the Okeechobee projects coming through the corridor. This is State Road 25, US 27, Okeechobee Road. The limits of our project are from east of Northwest 107th Avenue to east of Northwest 116th Way, Hialeah Gardens Boulevard. That graphic there shows a red line. That's obviously our project limits. And with that, we have a quick video.
Mm-hmm. The Florida Department of Transportation District 6 will begin the second of 5 Okeechobee Road reconstruction projects.
Hi, I'm Maria Alzate, the Senior Community Outreach Specialist.
This video provides detailed information about Segment 2, which extends from east of Northwest 107th Avenue to east of Northwest 116th Way. This segment is part of the corridor-wide Okeechobee Road reconstruction from the Palmetto Expressway to the Broward County line. The work will improve safety, enhance mobility, and inspire innovative transportation solutions along the strategic intermodal systems corridor. Work begins the week of May 2nd and is scheduled to be completed by early 2026, with an estimated construction cost of $105.6 million. The segment improvements include significant changes to the intersection of Okeechobee Road and Northwest 116th Way, Hialeah Gardens Boulevard. A new overpass will be constructed along Okeechobee to separate the eastbound and westbound drivers from 116th Way northbound and Hialeah Gardens Boulevard southbound. Additionally, a new elevated ramp and traffic signal will connect drivers from Hialeah Gardens Boulevard southbound to Okeechobee eastbound and from Okeechobee westbound to Hialeah Gardens Boulevard northbound. Additional ramps that require bridges along Okeechobee Road will be constructed to allow drivers from Okeechobee to connect to the frontage roads in order to turn north or south at the Hialeah Gardens Boulevard intersection. Other improvements include widening the roadway and bridges over the Miami Canal, reconstructing the roadway with concrete pavement, installing new guardrail, medians, and shoulder concrete barrier walls, adding new bicycle lanes and sidewalks along frontage road, installing a new intelligent transportation system, upgrading roadway lighting, traffic and pedestrian signage, and installing new traffic signals at the intersections of Frontage Road and Northwest 122nd Street, Frontage Road and Northwest 98th Avenue, Frontage Road and Northwest 11,500 Block, and Hialeah Gardens Boulevard at Northwest 11,600 Block. The crew will also be installing a new sewage collection system, relocating the existing sewage lines along the frontage roads, and connecting the 97th Avenue Canal to the Miami Canal.
For corridor-wide information and to learn more about each segment, visit us at www.fdotmiamidade.com/Okeechobee.
Maria captured it pretty well in that video, but just to reiterate on the scope of work, the main purpose of this project is to address operational and safety concerns. Anyone who's driven through there knows that, it's not the best experience. We're here to make that better. Critical to addressing the deficiencies, which include, I guess leading into those operational concerns, are the closely spaced intersections, poor turning radius. So the bridge 2 and 4 there, which is the focus of this graphic, aim to address those issues, specifically the operations and safety. What that does, it brings the conflicting and turning movements to and from Okeechobee Road, Northwest 116th Way, up to a grade separated intersection, and improving the operations and safety. And I will turn it over to Enrique with a lot more details on scope of work.
Okay, thank you, George. Good evening. Again, my name is Enrique Tamayo, and I am the Senior Project Engineer for RK&K. I, along with my team of engineers and inspectors, will be in responsible charge of the oversight of the contractor's operations on this project. To give you a little bit more detail as to the scope of work that will be performed, some of the detail was obviously provided in that video, but I'll go into a little bit more with respect to the scope of work that will be performed. So Okeechobee Road itself will be widened and also reconstructed with concrete pavement. All of those folks that are familiar with this area understand that there is heavy traffic and heavy truck traffic congestion throughout this corridor. So the concrete pavement aspect will help lengthen the life cycle of this particular section of roadway. So that's one of the major improvements. So Okeechobee itself will be reconstructed with concrete instead of asphalt. The frontage road on the north side of Okeechobee Road and also Northwest South River Drive on the south side of the Miami Canal sections of those roadways will also be reconstructed and widened and will be repaved, those mainly with asphalt pavement. Some other improvements that were touched upon earlier include new traffic signals at various locations, including the grade separated overpass of Okeechobee with Hialeah Gardens Boulevard, the intersection of Hialeah Gardens Boulevard and the 11,600 block, the frontage road at Northwest 122nd Street, the frontage road at Northwest 98th Avenue, and also the frontage road at the 11,500 block. Additional features to benefit all those commuters and users of this section of roadway include the addition of new bicycle lanes and sidewalks along the frontage road. Those do not currently exist, so those are new features that are being added to enhance mobility throughout this area. The safety features that are being upgraded include guardrail sections, median and shoulder concrete barrier walls that will be installed along the various sections of roadway of Okeechobee, the frontage road, and South River Drive as well. Installing a new sewer lift station for the town of Medley at 121st Way. There is an existing lift station there now, but it will be abandoned and removed, and a new one constructed as part of the scope of the work for this project. We will also be installing a large drainage culvert, 102-inch, that will cross underneath Okeechobee Road from the north side on Northwest 97th Avenue across to the Miami Canal on the south side. We will also be installing a 24-inch sewer line between Northwest South River Drive and the frontage road as well. The roadway lighting features with LED luminaires will also be upgraded throughout the length of the project. Excuse me. Lastly, we'll be upgrading traffic and pedestrian signage throughout, pavement markings, signalization throughout the entire length of the project. There is a new intelligent transportation system that will also be installed on this project as part of the Okeechobee corridor-wide improvements to improve connectivity throughout the area to the multiple roadways, Turnpike to the west, Palmetto Expressway to the east, and providing the users of the facility the information they need to move throughout the area more efficiently and effectively. As was stated earlier, the project will start construction this coming Monday, May 2nd. The construction cost is $105.6 million. Currently, we have an estimated completion date of early part of 2026. This is a large construction project with a multitude of complex activities that will be going on. Of course, the schedule may change due to bad weather conditions or other unexpected conditions that may arise. So what to expect? Of course, there is heavy traffic congestion throughout this section of roadway now. That's one of the main reasons why this project is being implemented is for the operational improvements. Travel lanes may be closed during what are considered non-peak hours and non-event days. Those would typically include 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on weekdays and weekends, 9 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. Sunday through Thursday nights, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. on Friday and Saturday nights. Motorist and pedestrian detours will be implemented throughout the work zone. Of course, we always encourage those users to proceed throughout the area with caution. We will be providing a number of traffic control devices, providing information regarding the detours, lane closures, and such throughout the life of the project. We will also be distributing information to those affected users through multiple means that Maria will discuss in some detail later. There are two adjacent projects to the west that are currently undergoing. One of them is being managed by the Florida Turnpike, and there's a second project further to the west of the Turnpike as well. We have already been coordinating with those projects. because they have active activities ongoing at this time. We want to ensure that there is no conflict between our operations and their operations, including potential lane closures. So we will continue that coordination effort throughout the life of this project. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a very complex and large project. The maintenance of traffic is basically broken into 3 major phases. These large phases have a number of sub-phases that will allow for work to be performed in specific areas. But again, the major aspects of the project are broken up into these 3 major phases. Phase 1 is work along the southbound and northbound sections of Northwest 116th Way, Hialeah Gardens Boulevard, the frontage road, and Northwest South River Drive at the area of that intersection. Phase 2 is the construction of that grade separated second level overpass bridge, in addition to 4 new bridges as well that allow for slip movements that are constructed connecting Okeechobee to the frontage road, and also bridges over the Miami Canal at both 116th Way and 121st Way. And phase 3 is the installation of the concrete pavement along Okeechobee, repaving and restriping and pavement markings along all sections of new roadway, including Okeechobee, Frontage Road, and Northwest South River Drive. Currently, the speed limit along Okeechobee is 50 miles per hour. It will be reduced for operational and safety reasons to 40 miles per hour. Again, this is being a major project. We do expect, some noise generating operations throughout the life of the project, and also some major earthwork operations that will create some dust. We will be working with a contractor, ensuring that he is using mitigating efforts to control the dust creation, including watering those areas and sweeping up in certain areas to minimize construction-related dust as much as possible. Access to businesses, residents, and side streets will be maintained. There will be instances where certain areas will have to be closed off for work to be performed, but we will be coordinating closely with the affected areas, the businesses and residences, making sure that they have at least one access point maintained at all times. And with that, I will turn it back over to Maria.
Thank you for the great presentation, guys. Now we're going to do the question and answer session. For those of you joining us in person, we are going to go first. You all can form a line behind Xander. He's by the podium. If you have any questions, comments, please, we encourage that you do so at this time. And then again, for virtual attendees, you can go ahead and submit your questions in the question box, or you can also go ahead and use the raise hand feature on your control panel, and we will unmute you as time permits. Participants, you'll have about 3 minutes to provide your comments or questions, just to give everybody a chance to speak. And then just be sure to clearly state your name and your address for the record. So we'll go ahead and begin here. Sir.
Good afternoon.
Good
It's
afternoon.
Alex Sikorsky, 11921 West Okeechobee Road. My question is regarding the sewer. You mentioned there's going to be sewer installed and replaced or removed.
Yes.
Where in the frontage road is there going to be any sewer installed, or this is to the other side of the canal? Today we don't have sewer between 99 and 107
Sure.
on the frontage road. Is that going to be installed? Second question is water drainage. We have a lot of accumulation of water, rainwater in that area. Is there something that is addressed in this project that is going to have water drainage installed?
Sure.
Those are my questions.
Well, thank you very much for coming, and thank you for your question. So to answer your first question first, there are no, as part of the scope of this project, there are no sewer improvements to be occurring on the north side of Okeechobee on the frontage road side. Those sewer improvements are more related to the town of Medley and their existing sewer lift station at 121st Way. So there are no specific sewer improvements to be included on the north side. Drainage, on the other hand, is one of the major aspects of this project, is to ensure that there's positive drainage throughout the project limit. So we will be installing a number of drainage features throughout the project: frontage road, 116th Way, Okeechobee itself, South River, all those areas. As I mentioned earlier, there's a large drainage culvert that ties 97th in to the Miami Canal that will be constructed as well. So there will be multiple outfalls actually built to the canal as well. So the drainage features are one of the major aspects of this project. So we hope to address any existing conditions that you may be experiencing right now.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you. You want to go ahead?
Good evening. How are you? Arturo Jeanette with the Medley Police Department. I think all of you know me. Thank you for being here. We welcome this. Anytime information is put out there is good for us, and this project is going to be growth. This now involves us, so that's why I know I'm speaking on behalf of some businesses that maybe are here or not here. Maybe they're online. Hopefully they are. The 107, starting on the north end, 107 Avenue Bridge. What is going to entail there? I know the work's going to be done. It says off-peak hours between 9 and 3:30, but unfortunately, that's peak hours for a major company we have here, FedEx.
Yeah.
We just went through a timing cycling issue that I had with them, and I finally got 107 Avenue Bridge down where I've extended the cycle between 9:30 and 10:30. They have about 150 to 200 trucks that leave the facility.
Sure.
And our arteries are only 107 Avenue, or they have to go to one-to-one way, which gets clogged up because of the trucks there.
Right.
So 107 Avenue is one lane to go northbound, and then you have a turn lane to go southbound, but they're taken up by trucks. So what impact will that have? Number one, if you're gonna have closures at that time.
Sure.
That's one part. When you get to one-to-one way, what entails there? Once again, the off-peak times normally for other places that would fly, for us it's not, because if you know Medley is industrial town,
Yeah.
all the cargo comes in and out at those times.
Yeah.
So that's where in the normal world, I guess, where there is not so much commercial, that would apply, where people show up to work and they stay in there. We're constantly moving because we have tractor trailers, and then we have 53 footers, which take up 4 or 5 car lengths, and sometimes that's not taken into account. One-to-one way is the other one, and then the arteries, remember, these are all major arteries for us, and 116 is a nightmare.
Mhm.
No matter what time you go there. Maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's okay, but other than that, all our cargo goes through there. So my question is, what impacts first does 107 Avenue have?
Sure.
As far as when you're closing off, minimizing the lanes, and then 121 way and 116 way.
Right. Excellent. Thank you, Lieutenant, for your participation and your support as well. So with respect to 107 Avenue, we are not going to be performing any work on that bridge itself. Our project limit is slightly east of there. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't have MLT setup, MLT closures that may affect that intersection. You bring up, a very good point, which is that coordination effort, not only with the town of Medley, but also with Miami-Dade County, who maintains the signalized intersections outside of the construction zones, right? So that coordination effort will have to continue throughout the life of the project. We certainly understand there's major business centers. FedEx is one of them. The Titan facility as well is another. We actually had a meeting with them yesterday, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. So we will certainly communicate with those affected businesses to ensure we understand what their needs are. Of course, there's certain times of the day or certain times of even throughout the calendar year where their needs are higher than normal. So it's important for us to understand what those needs are. You're right in the sense that these non-peak hours aren't kind of like a global thing, right? They have to be adjusted and they have to be considered on an individual basis, and we certainly will do that. As a matter of fact, one of the initial operations that we were looking to perform along 116th Way in the next couple weeks, we actually coordinated with contractor to move that operation to a night operation because it was actually going to take place in front of the high school. So think about a lane closure in front of the high school at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That just doesn't work, right? So those are all considerations that it's important for them to be communicated to us effectively, so that we in turn can take the proper steps to plan accordingly with our contractor and ensure that he can perform his work effectively while at the same time trying to meet the needs of the businesses in the community as well. So there's no work to be going on 107 itself, that bridge. 116 or 121st, which was your next intersection as we work further to the east, Now that is a full replacement. That bridge at one point throughout the life of the project will be completely off. It will be completely closed. So that intersection as well will also have instances, the intersection of South River with 121st will also be affected at a point in time throughout the life of the project. Again, those are the coordination efforts that are going to need to take place well in advance so that the customers and the users have an idea, an understanding of what's going to happen and how they're going to be impacted and plan their operations accordingly. There will be detours in place that will have to be utilized. But again, those conversations need to happen very early on so that, these affected businesses can plan accordingly.
Well, 121 way you hit right there. 121, you close 121 way.
Yeah.
We have a major problem in Medley
Yeah.
because our only detour avenues would be to travel eastbound on South River Drive, which is going to be developed now. I saw it today, the plans are coming. So
Right.
they're going to be redeveloping that section between 116 and 121 way.
Correct.
But it's a 1 lane east, 1 lane west.
Yeah.
Detour there, nightmare.
Yeah.
No turning radiuses, nightmare. Then the other route would be going to 107 Avenue.
Yeah.
That is just a nightmare. So if you consider that at night,
Yeah.
ideal situation, 121 way bridge, any bridge, but 121 way and 116, you shut those down. Obviously, there's timing that it has to happen.
Yeah.
If you do it Friday night, Saturday night, that would be a major impact because the traffic would back up tremendously on South River Drive.
Yeah.
South River Drive is 1 lane east, 1 lane west.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That we have,
Absolutely.
and we're talking tractor trailers.
No, understood. And just so I'm clear, the 121 way bridge is going to be removed and reconstructed. So it's going to get
gonna
closed off at one point or another throughout the life of the project. I think we're looking at the contractor schedule, and initially he's reflecting that work to happen sometime in late 2024, if I'm not mistaken. So there's, at least initially, we have time to really plan and have those conversations, but I don't want to minimize the potential impact because that bridge is going to be fully replaced and it's going to have to come down completely at a point in time. It's not snap of a finger type stuff, right? We've been through enough
Yes.
projects
Correct.
in our careers to understand that. And we just need to be able to communicate that effectively to those affected parties as well. And 116th as well, understanding that we are going to be working closely with the town and their upcoming project as well. We've already been coordinating with Mr. Corzo and his team with that upcoming project, and that'll have to continue throughout construction. 116th is also going to be reconstructed, but that bridge, unlike 121, is not going to be a full closure. It's going to be completed in 2 halves. So we are going to be able to maintain traffic on one side. It is going to be very limited as compared to what it is now throughout the life of that reconstruction effort. But nonetheless, it will be maintained open throughout the life of the project. Currently, we are under review for a couple proposed changes that the contractor is making to try to optimize some of the MOT throughout the life of the project and maybe expedite some of these potential challenges. So we will certainly communicate those not only to the town and yourself directly, but to the affected businesses throughout the area as well, so that, again, they have a clear understanding of what the expectations are.
And please include me when you have those meetings with those business people affected by Medley.
course.
Please include me, and obviously George Kozo is on top of the things, but because once again, they hear our side of it and we understand the traffic flow here. It's
Right.
unique, and I agree that this obviously has to, the overall end is great,
Sure.
but in
It's getting there.
between is the problem. And
Sure.
in betweens, and then these people get upset, and I understand, it's upsetting, and then we get the phone calls.
No,
We're not gonna get 'em. We're gonna get 'em.
we fully understand, and we worked together on the
Yes,
87th Avenue
did.
project, and that would certainly had its challenges, but if we can keep the eye on the prize, then it makes it a little bit smoother. But that interaction and that exchange of information is very important, as you
Now,
say.
One was getting back, not to deviate, my time is up, I'm sure, but the 107 Avenue, I had heard there's going to be an expansion to connect. Is that in play? To connect the north end to cross over into Hialeah Gardens or the Hialeah Frontage Road?
Yeah, I'm not,
I'll go ahead and take that.
I can't speak
So
to.
for 107 Avenue, that's part of a different project
But it's
team.
coming.
So I'll go ahead and give you the information for that project team so you can ask.
No impact in between. It's going to be done different timing, right?
I'm not exactly sure on their timing. It would have to, I believe that's managed by the Florida Turnpike Enterprise, not by DOT.
Right. Thank
Okay,
you.
so
Please
I will
include
get
me.
you that
All
contact.
right, include me in any meetings you have with them, please, and I appreciate you being here and everything you do. But, we have some traffic issues I foresee coming, and let's work together. The more we communicate, the more the business people know they can reach out to us, like you, like us. Please feel free.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Lieutenant.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
you.
much. Okay, do we have anybody else in person that would like to state a comment or question? No? Okay, so we'll go ahead and go online. Diana, do we have anybody online that wishes to ask a question?
Hi, Maria. Yes, we have Joshua Sampson. He has his hand raised from FedEx. And we have two other questions, so.
Okay, you can go ahead and unmute him.
Joshua, I think you have to unmute yourself.
1 second, let me see. Let's give him 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and try to unmute him, Diana, and then you will go ahead and unmute yourself, Joshua. Okay, one more time. Okay, he's having some technical issues with his mic. So Diana, can you please read the questions on the question box?
Yes, so we have a question from Marina Casellas. She said how long it would take phase one, the intersection of Okeechobee Road and Hialeah Gardens Boulevard. How it will affect Goodwill store businesses?
Okay, so that work in phase one, the project overall is a 4-year project. Again, so it's an extensive phase, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The businesses in that area, obviously we could expect some increased traffic congestion. We will be performing some lane shifts throughout the area as well. So the traffic patterns will change slightly in that area. I shouldn't say slightly, will change in that area and throughout the life of the project as well. In terms of the overall work at that intersection, it's part of the significant work, which is not only includes the widening of the frontage road, but also includes the construction of that elevated overpass bridge, 2 bridges exactly in that area as well. So I would say that this being the center of the project will probably be under construction for quite a while, probably in years, at least a couple years to 3 years. It does not mean that the entire intersection will be shut down or anything like that. We will be maintaining all travel lanes throughout that intersection. Again, they will be modified with temporary features throughout the life of the project, but there will be extensive construction operations ongoing in that area for quite an expansive amount of time.
Okay, thank you. Diana, do we have anybody else online?
Yes, Elizabeth Lang, she asked, will lane and road bridge closure maps be provided as the project progress for us to stay aware of when we will need to detour?
Did you get that? You want me to reread it?
I think she's asking how we're going to distribute information. Is that what she's asking?
She said, will lane and road bridge closure maps be provided as the project progress for us to stay aware of the, yes, you're correct, aware when we will have detours. So what we have is we have an extensive database with everybody's information as well as whoever joined us today. We have your information, your emails. We will be sending weekly lane closures information to everybody. It will also be displayed on our website. So as you see here on the screen, we have a website designated just for this project where you'll be able to see not only this particular segment, but you'll be able to see all the other segments throughout the corridor. Aside from that, whenever there are major closures, we will be going out door to door, handing out flyers, advisories of what will be taking place with maps, showing the detours, teaming up with the municipalities, so with the town here of Medley, Hialeah Gardens, City of Hialeah, to make sure that we're sharing this information to them and they can also post it on their website. So we are going to be doing all of these different things, and it's also going to be posted on the lane closure site on the FDOT website. Thank you. Let's see, do you have anybody else, Diana, online?
No, Maria. Joshua still has his hand up, but I don't know if he can still speak. Joshua, would you like to write your question in the question portion in the section?
Okay, so we'll give him a couple seconds. Joshua is from FedEx, so we want to make sure that he gets a chance to speak. He's going to be writing it to us in the question box. In the meantime, if anybody else in the room has a question or a comment, please feel free to go to the podium and ask that at that time. And we'll just continue to be here for you all. Okay, so we'll give him a second and we'll be here. Thank you. Okay, so I was able to get part of his question. This is from FedEx. He states that FedEx has just signed lease for 10300 Way, as well as 100 to 150 vehicles on top of 107 Northwest 122nd, having 250 vehicles. The closure times are very important. Our peak times are 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And the new building is opening in October of 2023. So I believe he just wants us to understand what their facility is doing and how much truck traffic they're going to be having, and that their peak times are 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And Joshua, again, since you can't speak to us right now, we are happy to meet with FedEx and have this discussion with you one-on-one and coordinate all of those timings. Okay, so again, okay, he would like to set up a meeting, so we'll go ahead and do that. And again, we're here. If there's no more questions, we'll be here for 15 more minutes. And please feel free to ask anything if you like. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be here for a few more minutes. So if you have any other questions, please do let us know. Thank you.
Thank you again for joining us this evening. Again, if you need more information about the project, you can contact me directly to the information that's on the screen, or you can also visit our website at www.fdotmiamidade.com/Okeechobee. Thank you. Have a great night.